Order. Roll call, please.
President Byrne?
Here.
Trustee Hebda? Here. Trustee Schultz?
Here.
Trustee Markwart?
Here.
Trustee Cook?
Here.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Here.
Trustee Takaoka?
All right, we have a quorum present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
I thought it's tomorrow. No.
Oh, no, it was today. I went to kind of south.
October.
Okay.
How do you do that?
So any citizens wishing to address the board tonight?
I know, but how do you get
Oh,
off?
it will automatically.
No? Okay. All right. Village President Proclamation School Opening. Oh, yeah. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Okay. Village President School Opening Safety Week Proclamation, August 21st to August 25th. Children in our community and all across the state and nation are beginning a new school year. Students will be walking or biking to school in neighborhoods, on sidewalks and streets, approaching or waiting at school bus stops, and boarding or dismounting from buses. Police officers, school bus drivers, and crossing guards will also be doing their part to provide life-saving protection for all school children, not only in Vernon Hills, but also statewide and nationally. Motorists can help protect children by being especially careful near schools and in residential areas, watching their speed, obeying the Illinois cell phone use law, observing traffic control devices, and obeying school crossing guards. It is important to increase all motorists' awareness of the need to be alert for children at school crossings, to review and follow the rules of the road as they apply to school zones and school buses, and to be respectful of school crossing guards as they perform their important duties. Now therefore, I, Roger L. Byrne, Village President, proclaim the period of August 21st through August 25th as Schools Open Safety Week in Vernon Hills. Okay. Vernon Hills Soccer Club Tournament and Event Concessions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Annually, the Vernon Hills Soccer Club holds its Labor Day tournament, also known as the Chicago Cup Tournament. And they are requesting again this year to be able to partner with the Vernon Hills Lions Club to allow the club to be able to provide concessions for that event. As you know, the Lions lost the Kelly Miller Circus a couple of years ago, and they've used this event as a way to offset some of those revenues over the past couple of years now. Approximately a year ago, the board approved a concession vendors agreement with Sports for All to provide or license and provide concession services out at the VHAC. The concession agreement also allows the village to designate an alternate concessionaire upon notice to Sports for All. Consistent with the past requests, it's recommended that I be allowed to authorize the issuance of a letter giving notice to Sports for All and authorizing that the Vernon Hills Lions Club be able to provide concession services on the VHAC during the Vernon Hills Soccer Club Labor Day tournament this year. And I traditionally we bring it back to you. You all have approved the authorization and issuance of this letter, and that would be my request again this year to be able to do that. You need a motion to do that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to designate the Lions as the concessionaire for this event.
And authorize the issuance of the letter. Okay.
So
I
made.
do have a question on there. Would they use in fact, the machinery that's in the building as it is right now?
It's possible. It's possible. They've got a work mark on working.
We've been able to work through that with Mark Peterson and his group, and also Sarah Moline and the Lions Club. It's working out pretty seamlessly. They're cooperating with each other, so absolutely they will be using the refrigerator and other items.
Right.
Trustee Oppenheim.
So can I ask, who's the Sports for All organization? Is that a local?
Yeah, it is a local group. I don't know if it's the president, but the person who operates it's Mark Peterson.
Okay.
Mark runs the concession stands during the summer out there. During there's 4 or 5 major tournaments that go on during the year, and he has exclusive rights to run the concession during those periods of time.
And so we're substituting his license for this particular tournament and giving it to the Lions Club instead?
That's
And
correct.
And that's what's happened in the past?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
it happens periodically. I don't know if it happens for anything else,
That's it.
but it
So,
could.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
So we do the same thing with the Pipe City tournament.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So.
American Hotel.
Okay.
Okay.
Second, by the way.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The second items are confirmation of alternative members who would attend either SWALCO meetings or the Northwest Municipal Conference meetings. For the Solid Waste Agency of Lake County, or SWALCO, there's a resolution as a part of the Omnibus Agenda 2017-058, which updates the village's alternate director designations to SWALCO by adding Assistant Village Manager Joe Carey, who will be the primary alternate director and attendee at monthly meetings should Trustee Hebda not be available, and myself, who will also serve as an alternate. Traditionally, in the past, the village manager has been an alternate, and Dave Brown, who has also been the primary alternate, who has attended meetings in the past. Currently, Dave is that director. He would come off under this proposal and be replaced by Joe. Joe's familiar with SWALCO and also coordinated the village's waste and recycling contract approval or renewal with Advanced Disposal and the like. So you'll see that resolution under the omnibus portion of the agenda. So again, Trustee Hebda would remain as the village's appointed director to SWALCO. Second is the Northwest Municipal Conference. This is a council of governments that the village has membership to and has been members for many years. Each of the members of the conference are represented by one delegate who is either the mayor or the president of that community. In absence of the mayor or the president, the chief appointed officer, or chief appointed administrative official, I should say, or a trustee member shall be an alternate delegate and be able to vote on behalf of the community. Mayor Byrne is the delegate to the conference. In the past, the village manager has been the alternate delegate. Communities also have the option to designate an additional delegate who can either be a trustee or a staff member. So in this case, what the conference is asking for and what they typically do when they start their year, which starts in September, is ask the municipality to verify the names of the alternate delegates who will serve the community. So in this case, we're asking or recommending that the village reaffirm the following alternate delegates. That would be me as one of those, and Assistant Village Manager Joe Carey as the other alternate delegate, with, again, Mayor Byrne being the delegate to
These are
the...
meetings that are held during the week, during the day, usually in the morning.
No, actually in the evening
Oh, these are?
at Oakton College.
Well, what are the other ones, though? I mean, there's some, maybe it's committees periodically.
There are committee meetings, yes.
They don't meet at night.
Correct.
Right, okay.
So I would request a motion to just affirm the alternate delegates as recommended.
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments or questions? If none, roll call, please.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim? Aye. Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Assistant Village Manager Carey. U.S. Health Fest Behavioral Hospital Update.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We had a meeting and then they went to Waukegan. You want to say anything else? No, I'm kidding. You know.
So
Go ahead.
the village has been advised that U.S. Health Fest is not moving forward with the proposed psychiatric hospital at 300 North Milwaukee. We are awaiting a written confirmation of the withdrawal of the application, which we anticipate to receive this week.
The facility that they're looking at, that's the old Victory Hospital? Am I correct?
Well, it's one of their buildings.
One of them.
You know, there's still a hospital there, but then this
Well,
one.
but there was two hospitals. There was
Yeah,
St. Teresa's and there was Victory, right?
Yeah, I think Victory took over both buildings, but this is
Vista.
not a, full-service hospital where they're going at this point in time. I think Victory's got two, what, is it Advocate? I'm trying to think of it. It's Advocate Healthcare?
No.
No,
No,
in
they're
Waukegan. No,
Vista.
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 Okay.
Vista West.
Well,
that's what-
Vista's got the hospital going still.
Right.
And then they
Yeah.
got this facility, which I think, to some extent, I thought it was set up. They actually handle kids that had mental illness, not just kids, but, adults and kids. And I think it's already, is it 46 rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because we had some meetings with Terry Link, and, we called, I don't know, somebody at the hospital who I don't think is there anymore. And anyway, we had our meeting last week. We said, well, we got to, bring it back to the board because it's not approved. And then the next, got the message, later that day or the next morning?
The message was sent out later that day. However, we had only
Yeah.
received notification.
And then when, Joe called me, I said, just send it out to the whole board, So that's it. They're going, so. I mean, it certainly is going to help the county. I mean, Trustee Hebda.
In light of how many people wanted this facility and supported it, would it be appropriate to make a public endorsement that we appreciate where they're going and what they're going to do? I think it's important that we've got it in Lake
Yeah.
County and do something to that extent that we publicly support what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't have a
I
problem
mean, I know,
doing that. Because
Trustee Oppenheim, you're smiling,
Yes.
so I don't know what that
Well-
means, but I just feel
Well,
like we know we need it.
But on top of that, I mean, they got to go through the process.
process.
No, to move the licensing from the state from Northbrook to Waukegan. And Chris, what did he tell us? It's going to take 8 or 9 months? Yeah.
Correct.
so.
Well, I would just add that I'm not ready to publicly endorse the company
But I
that's taking
am,
over.
because I believe that we
No,
need it
well,
here. So.
it's not that I don't believe services are needed, and I'm happy that they're increasing services in Lake County. It's just a question of the company itself.
Well,
That's the
and
concern.
along those lines, we had discussions about how long are you going to, if you're going to put the $20 million into the office building in the business park, which is Continental Executive Park, and it's, 4-story building, 75,000 square feet?
Correct. It's certainly 75,000 square feet.
Yeah, and so, in essence, they said, okay, but they weren't overly committed to, actually staying there and servicing it, but with that said, into what the doctor here feels, they may flip it to, a hospital at some, I mean, they would have
That-
done, I think they would have done that here, and maybe done it sooner than later, once they got the place up and running, but, it's immaterial now.
But I guess in light of what I'm looking for is, I think that we know we have a need, and if there's a way to assist with that need and showing support, that's what I would like to see as we get them moving forward, because we've got so many people within our own community that asked for this, and I'd like to see us go out there and show them, at least from this chair, I'd like to show them that I support what we have coming into Waukegan, it's at least it's something closer for us. So whether anyone else doesn't want to
Well,
do that, but I'd like to do
I mean, I don't
something
have
like
a
that.
problem sharing with people because this was kind of abrupt.
Yeah, well, sure.
We somehow, there was a lot of conditions that were put on the table, and in all honesty, there was just certain things where we said, hey, I don't care about the guy, who owns the building trying to cut a 50-year lease, you know what I mean? And I'm going, he was a nice guy, he's from Pittsburgh, but I don't think he's owned the building that long, but anyway, I don't have a problem if anybody else wants to weigh in on telling the community what happened, but in telling them that you are getting more beds in Lake County.
I think the original statement we put out on Facebook, and which I personally cut and pasted to several of the neighborhood groups, was pretty accurate. I mean, it stated that, people feel there is a need, and I think we all feel there's a need for additional care, and that U.S. Health Vest decided to go a different way than what they initially proposed to us. And it was at their discretion. It's their decision to move forward with Waukegan as opposed to Vernon Hills. We were still working through all the details, and because it's a hospital, there's a lot of details to be worked through. But this was their call, and I'm happy that we're
Well-
going forward with something.
Yeah, but what you're saying, Trustee Hebda, is that what email blasted out to
Well, or
everybody,
through the-
and give
I
something to
think-
paper?
Lynn does the newsletter, because not everyone is on Facebook.
Right.
So there's another way of communicating out there that we're in support of what they proceeded with. Yes, it didn't happen here, but at least more beds are coming into Lake County, and hopefully we'll see a good situation in the long run, so.
Well, here,
And I
okay.
think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The doctor agrees.
and here,
More beds are.
maybe we'll have, John and Joe kind of
Yeah.
work your way through this with Lynn.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great. Thank you. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, I don't want to convey the fact that this was a done deal and they took
No.
a walk. There was, just explain, you know how to do it, guys. I mean, where we were in the process, and, they were juggling a couple of different deals, so, So, okay. What else we got here?
Oh, the next topic should be fun.
Finance Director, Treasurer, fiscal year 2018 state budget, impact on the village. Well, it's about 300 grand. Is that about right?
79.
It is about 300 grand. In other good news, I guess along the same lines, we do have a PowerPoint presentation that hopefully Storta will be pulling up onto the main screen. It's also included in the packet this evening.
Yeah.
But as you probably have heard, the state of Illinois, oh, okay. Perhaps it won't be on the screen, but the state of Illinois passed its its budget.
Well, why don't you give Mike a minute here? Where's Bo going?
To help.
Coming
Oh,
down.
he's going up there? Oh, all right. This isn't a PowerPoint presentation? Nikki?
It is.
No. Well, can you,
Right there, share.
I have no idea.
it was supposed to pop up
I
on
know.
this,
it's
can
right?
address
up
it.
there.
Yeah, I know. No, I know that. But
I don't think so.
No, it's not on the desktop, so.
the Vernon Hills presentation, isn't it?
No.
No, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Chief. National Night Out
There we go.
recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to take a minute to report back to the village board about the great success that the National Night Out was on August 1st at Hartman Park. We were one of 16,000 National Night Out celebration communities. It was a a very enjoyable evening for everybody. There was some pretty competitive volleyball with teams from the police department, of course, Target, Peacock Car Wash, the Depke Juvenile Complex, and the Vernon Hills Summer Celebration. And the police department went 4-0. But we'll move on and just point out that it was a lot of fun for everyone. Our sponsors really made this possible with help from A to Z Entertainment, Record a Hit, Tricoci University of Beauty Culture. The little kids actually had their faces painted by beauticians instead of just someone in a booth. The Vernon Hills Park District, Target, Countryside Fire Protection District, and Chick-fil-A, both our local restaurant and corporate, really came through, and they supplied 2,500 chicken sandwiches for the festival, which really saved a lot of grilling time on our part. It was just a big hit. All the sandwiches went, to give you a size, an indication of the size of the crowd we had. Other sponsors include Target Corporation and King's Hawaiian, Dietz & Watson, and ADT are all national sponsors. So the last thing I'd like to point out is that the volunteers really made this an effective night. Our crime prevention officer, Kim Christensen, led the way, doing just a ton of work over the last months building up to this. Many of our Citizens Police Academy graduates and many other residents came out to help really make this event a great evening for all. The weather was perfect. So we'd invite the community to mark their calendars for next year, August 7th. It's always the first Tuesday in August, August 7th, 2018. We look forward to having another great event. Thank you.
Okay. Public Works Director, Dave Brown. Oh, we're ready now? Okay. Okay. Finance Director Larson.
Okay, take two. We'll try this again. As you probably heard, the state of Illinois passed its fiscal year 2018 budget. The final passage of this budget marks the end of a 2-year budget impasse downstate. This was passed in a special session that began on June 21st of this year and continued through July, which was subsequently vetoed by the governor, and then overridden by the Senate on July 4th and the House on July 6th. The final budget consists of 3 separate bills. Senate Bill 6 is the first of the 3. It's the appropriations bill and probably what has been covered the most in the news. The appropriations bill is the spending bill, and it appropriates $36.5 billion, which is actually a decrease of $2.5 billion from the prior year. It approves on a good news basis. We'll start on a good note. It does approve local government pass-through funds for motor fuel tax, which is great news for our road program, casino and video gaming taxes, use taxes, and 911 system revenues. And actually, the 911 system revenues will see an uptick based on recent legislation. The corporate personal property replacement tax was also diverted. Luckily for the Village of Vernon Hills, the tax base that we receive through that revenue source is rather small, so the impact there is pretty minimal. And downstate mass transit funds are the same amount as the stopgap budget. The second bill is Senate Bill 9. It's the revenue bill. This one hurt from a personal level, and you've probably already seen the impact of this. This included a state income tax withholding increase on individuals of 4.95% and corporations for at 7%. Unlike the prior increase in income tax withholding, this change is permanent, or at least until further action is taken by the legislatures. These income tax withholding rates are up from 3.75% and 5.25% respectively. This revenue bill does not include, but were discussed throughout negotiations downstate, a sales tax on services, tax on retirement income, and a statewide sugary beverage tax. That doesn't necessarily mean that these issues have died permanently, but they are not included in the current year budget. Senate Bill 42 was the third bill and the most impactful for the Village of Vernon Hills. This included a 10% reduction in income tax sharing. We commonly call this LGDF. It's a local government distributive fund. This is the local share of income tax that's collected statewide and distributed based on a population basis. As a compromise to the cut, the state legislature also offered that any income tax sharing would be direct deposited into the LGDF fund and bypass the general revenue fund. The thought process here being that would eliminate any delays in payment or minimize delays in payment. And then the second piece of the compromise would be that there would be 2 accelerated payments in the current fiscal year. That would be a one-time payment. The thought being we would receive 14 payments in one fiscal year instead of 12 monthly payments. Now, on the next slide, I will give some examples. This is somewhat misleading, the way that it was communicated, because the state of Illinois is actually 2 months behind in paying the Village of Vernon Hills its income tax. So although we will, on a cash basis, receive 14 payments, that's really just the state of Illinois catching up on the money that they already owe us. So on a cash basis, we will receive more, but ultimately we are experiencing a 10% cut in that revenue going forward.
But 2 of the payments were owed before they even changed the law.
Correct.
So what are we getting at that?
Nothing.
It's reduced.
It's reduced. Well, the 2 payments that were owed before they changed the law are at 100%. So I should
Okay,
correct.
so they're
I should
not-
correct that.
Okay,
Exactly.
all right.
And then the second piece of the revenue bill that impacts us is a sales tax collection fee of 2%. Fortunately, if you're looking for a silver lining, fortunately, this only applies to home rule sales tax and not our regular municipal tax that is the lion's share of our revenue budget, but it does still affect us. The thought process being the home rule sales tax is a locally imposed tax. We're not collecting it locally, so the state of Illinois is charging us an administrative fee for collecting that tax and then remitting it back to us. There's a lot of numbers on this slide.
Well, and I just want to clarify something for anybody who's eventually going to watch this. The actual income tax sharing, based on the personal income tax, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Right now, before the legislature changed the law, we were getting about $100 a person, which equated to $2.6 million.
Correct.
So now you can do the math. I mean, it's about $260,000 that'll be reduced because it's only going to be $90, per person in town.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of numbers on this slide, so please bear with me. What's important here are the numbers following the month and those months that are highlighted in yellow. So if you can see the column all the way to the left, it was the fiscal year ended 4/30/2016. The income tax distributions for the months of March and April, which is the end of our fiscal year, were not received until June of 2016, the following fiscal year. And the same pattern follows for the fiscal year ended 4/30/2017. The March and April payments weren't received until after the fiscal year ended. And then you can see the slight green highlighting in the last column. The May and June payments were actually received in July, and those 2 payments were received at 100%. The remainder of the payments are estimated to be brought in about 90%. So looking at what we're estimating going forward as compared to the prior year receipts of $2.3 million, we're looking at a 2.7% decrease in this revenue going forward. Now, that's an estimate based on what we think is going to come in going forward this year. It could be more, it could be slightly less, depending on how things are paid. Now, the other point that I do want to make here is that all of the income tax payments that flow through LGDF are made through the comptroller's complete discretion. So although they are allowable within the fiscal year budget, that does not guarantee when these will be paid or if they will be paid. And one other thing that I'd like to point out on this schedule is that There is somewhat of a pattern of payments, but you can also see that they can tend to be sporadic as well, where we'll get 2 payments in a month. There'll be 1, 2, 3 months in between payments, because those are typically a little bit lower on the comptroller's list to be paid out. In total, the budget bill is expected to impact us $275,000. That is an annualized number, and that's a permanent cut. So that is something that we not only need to revisit with staff as part of the current year operating budget, which we have already identified a certain amount of savings this year to accommodate for that, but we're also going to have to talk about this going forward because this will be a permanent cut. So going through the items one at a time, the village does receive $4,500 in personal property replacement tax. We're likely to see an increase in that, or a decrease in that, excuse me. But if we do see the decrease, it'll only be a few $100s. The income tax decrease is estimated to cause a decrease in revenue of $227,000. And then again, the home rule sales tax, 2% of what we are projecting for that revenue amounts to just shy of about $50,000. So total, that's a cut of $275,000. And I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
None of the Dems want to say anything? You know,
Your Honor, just,
well, let's put it this way, there were no, structural, I guess, reforms that went through it all, So, hey, we got the money, who knows what they're gonna do with it, just spend it, I guess, What are they gonna do with the pensions? They gotta bond that out?
I haven't heard yet. So,
Well, you'd be concerned about that, wouldn't you, Tom? Dave Brown and the pensions? Oh. Oh, you don't want to, okay. All right. Well, okay, but the bottom line is this state's in the hole. I was driving back from Wisconsin. It's nice to see Uline just kind of expanding in Wisconsin and adding more and more bodies, Anyway. All right, this is a great budgetary process. Okay. Takes the gas pipe, in all honesty. So, okay. Next item is Dave Brown.
Thank you very much. We want to make an announcement as far as our Vernon Hills Public Works Open House. It's on Wednesday, August 30th from 4 to 7. It's a nice family event. We encourage everyone to come out. Really exciting to educate the kids and families as far as public services that are provided. We'll have groups such as our Clark Mosquito abatement contractor. They'll have their helicopter there. We'll have the fire trucks that the kids can climb on and enjoy, climb ropes, drive our sweeper, different items like that. So it's a really fun event. There's food. We encourage everyone to come out and join us. So just wanted to announce that, and there will be other social media outreach, and people already know about it and are looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Next item is the omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through O? Do you want me to tack on the golf outing? No. No? Just sign it? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, is there a motion to approve?
So made, A through O.
Items A through O. Motion is second. Comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hibda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Approval of passage of ordinance 2017-095. An ordinance authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement for the repairs and improvements to the Metro commuter station in the village of Vernon Hills. Public Works Director Brown.
What is this topic? Excuse me. So the ordinance 2017-095 ordinance authorizing the execution of improvements to the Metro station, that was presented to the board previously. It is some grant monies that Metro has available. We've worked through it with their attorney and our attorney, and the agreement has been forged. It's a matter of the board approving it. This is a 100% payment from Metro for improvements to our station. It includes not the 100% roof replacement at the Metro, but 80% of the building will be re-roofed. And then the flooring will be fixed, and then also there's a bench that will be installed. So our recommendation is to approve this ordinance, and we will share that with Metro and move forward with those improvements should the board approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second.
Question.
Yeah. Trustee Schultz.
Why not replace the entire roof?
Because it's a separate part of the building. It's not like we're only doing 80% of a roof.
Same age, though?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
It's maybe 6 years old. So that's the reasoning.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
And there's no money to do any kind of restroom facilities.
There has not been any money appropriated in any capital improvement program to include bathroom facilities.
But if we wanted to do it, we could.
We absolutely could
it's
run
still-
that through a budget process and have bathrooms
The
added.
water and sewer is still an issue.
There is water and sanitary available at the station. It's a matter of just constructing the bathroom facilities itself. We have looked at that over past years.
Right.
It just hasn't made the
cheap.
budget priority cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, what would you, what was the expense associated with that?
The estimates are old, 5 years plus. They are in the range of 250,000, 280,000.
Okay. All right. And we got roll call. We already do that?
No.
Could we?
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries. Let me bring up, I'm going to make comments about Shirley Ryan Ability Lab golf outing. We had that event on Saturday at the municipal golf course, and I don't know exactly how much was raised for the charity, but I would venture it's in the $15,000 range. Yeah, okay, well, once we get some checks, right? Really? Okay, well, that's great. In any event, I have the invoice from, did you give this to everybody? No? Oh, well, what are we going to do? Put it on next week? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, I mean, what was budgeted, well, I thought we budgeted more in the past, but I think it was $3,000 and it came in at 7,200, so. Yeah, okay, we'll talk before, all right, fine. But I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody that came out, everybody that donated, and, I'll go out on a limb, I think Dave Smith, who's here, and I had a pretty good time playing golf together, if you want to call it that, So it was us, and then we had two Utes, Christian and who was the other one? What was it, Kristen? He was good, Kyle. Yeah, he was better than Kristen. But in any event, so it's a worthy cause, and David had he had an aphasia, stroke about 5-6 years ago, and he's still going through rehabilitation, but he's certainly come a long way. And, so it was a pleasure playing with you, and we're going to, like I told you, maybe do something else, off the radar that would be more effective for you. So, anyway, that's all I got.
Minutes?
Yeah, okay. Take those glasses off. Where?
July 18th minutes.
Where? Oh, yeah. Okay, is there a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from July 18th, 2017?
So made.
Motion and a second. Comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, roll call.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Well, is there any other items to come before the board? No? Okay. No new business? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go into committee of the whole?
So made.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka?
Motion carries. First item, approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of July 5th, 2007. Is there a motion to approve?
So
Motion.
made.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, roll call.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Abstain.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item 2, request from Europa Eyewear for approval of site and landscape revisions to allow a parking lot expansion at 255 Corporate Woods Parkway.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The new parking lot will be used to accommodate additional employees that are planned for this location. There would be 16 parking spaces, including 4 handicap spaces, that would be located adjacent to the main entrance on the south side of the building. And that expanded area is shown on the aerial in front of you there. It's in black lines. It's a little hard to see, but, and there it is in plan view. As you can see, they'd also be updating the landscaping, they'd also be installing new landscaping islands within and around the expanded parking field that's shown there on the landscape plan. And as you can see, they'd also be updating the landscaping at the main entrance drive from Corporate Woods Parkway. Existing landscaping on the remaining portions of the site would also be replaced or upgraded in accordance with village requirements, and this would include removal and replacement of any ash trees that still might be located on the site. As you're aware, the annexation agreement authorizing a special use for a planned unit development for Corporate Woods requires approval by the village board, but does not require a public hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission. So for tonight, if the council feels the parking lot expansion is appropriate, staff should be directed to prepare an ordinance approving the site plan revisions and landscape revisions in accordance with the plans in front of you and in accordance with the conditions that are outlined in your packet. And representatives of Europa is here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
No, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any issues, Dave, with this? Okay, motion and a second. No comments or questions, or roll call.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next time, re-roof though with a white hypalon, it'll reduce your energy cost, or a white EPDM.
Okay. Next is Hydro Force. Building Commissioner Atkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Similar to the previous case, the new parking area will be used to accommodate additional employees planned for Hydroforce. They are planning to expand their manufacturing facilities within the existing building. By the end of this year, approximately 75 employees will be relocated from their Lincolnshire facility here to our Vernon Hills facility. And over the next 5 years, they anticipate an additional 100 employees located at this facility. The parking lot expansion covers two areas. First, on the vacant portion of the lot located north of the existing building. And then second, adjacent to the east side of the building near the main entrance. And those two areas are shown in gray. You'll see the large parking lot expansion to the right, and then the smaller expansion down below the existing building. That larger north expansion would include 177 spaces that would be located within what is now a vacant portion of the site. There would also be 3 handicap spaces included. That parking lot would be accessed from a driveway off of Forest Edge Drive. You can see that at the top of your screen. That existing driveway would be widened to 24 feet in width to accommodate two-way traffic. There would also be new landscaping that would be installed around the perimeter and within several landscape islands throughout the lot, and that's shown there. You'll notice I think there's 8 or 9 landscape islands within the lot, and then landscaping around the perimeter of the lot as well. Again, the second area is that smaller shaded area to the bottom of the building. That area will have 24 parking spaces, again located near the main entrance. There would be 3 additional handicap parking spaces that would be created within the existing parking field. Combined with the new spaces on the north lot, the site would now be in full compliance with ADA requirements. New landscaping would also be installed within that area as shown on the plan in front of you. And as we know, this site also is located in Corporate Woods, so it does require approval by the village board, but a public hearing is not required before the Planning and Zoning Commission. So if the COW feels the parking lot expansion and landscape revisions are appropriate, staff should be directed to prepare an ordinance approving the site and landscape changes in accordance with the plans in front of you and in accordance with the conditions set forth in your packet.
Trustee Schultz.
What's going on the rear? It's shown that there's a change. Is there a repaving going on, the current existing fire lane, fire access?
Yes, sir. There's an existing lane there that'll be widened to a width of 24 feet.
Okay.
That'll provide two-way access to the new
Okay.
parking lot.
And you providing a secondary egress then for employees now? Primary access to the building?
We've got the backside in front.
It would be out of the front side of the building then, yes. Yeah, are you talking about cars getting out of the parking lot?
No. Personnel doors.
There are fire exits all around the warehouse.
Right,
as well
but you're
as-
creating a second primary
Yes.
entrance, so you have 2 primary entrances.
Yes.
One through the front door and then one to the back.
And there's one to the south of the building currently as well.
You have me at disadvantage. Which way is north?
South would be Forest Edge.
Gotcha.
Opposite to our right.
North is to the right.
It
Thank
says
you.
north on the,
Yeah, North is facing to the right.
Okay. Basically, where you have the 2 handicap spots, you're adding another primary.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other comments or questions?
This motion to approve?
second.
Motion is second. Roll call.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hibda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. We have the beer market next, right? Request from the beer market for approval of an addition to its facility located in Vernon Hills Town Center, 1270 South Milwaukee Avenue. Okay,
If you wish, I could provide a brief update. This was last heard at the committee of the whole meeting on July 5th, but it's been a while, so just to refresh everyone's memory, the beer market will be going through a rebrand, and they'll be renaming their establishment to Beer Head. The business will now be expanded to include the service of food that'll be prepared and served on site. There's a location of Beer Market, soon to be Beer Head. And that next slide there shows where the addition is going to be to support that reuse. The addition would connect that small portion between the existing building and the garbage enclosure. It would be used for storage purposes in support of the new kitchen facility. At the next slide, at the top, what you see is how it would be viewed from the north west side of the property, and at the bottom of the screen is how it would be viewed from the southeast side of the property. Again, the board last considered this at its July 5th meeting, and during that meeting, several questions were raised regarding the reuse, and after review and discussion, it was requested that the owner or manager appear before the cow, and the manager is here to answer any questions you may have.
Hey, you guys want to identify yourselves?
My name's Mitch Sweeney. I'm the area manager of the location.
My name's Larry Price. I'm with Rosewood Construction.
With who?
Rosewood Construction.
Oh, okay. All right.
Excuse me, the board also requested a copy of the menu that will be used. That has been provided for you, and that's attached to your packet. And it was further requested that assurances that food would still be available via delivery from restaurants within the town center, and the manager is here to respond to those questions as well. As a reminder, Ordinance 2007-31 granted approval of a special use permit authorizing a planned unit development for this property that included the architectural approvals for this property. So tonight, for the cow, during your deliberations, what you need to do is to determine if these changes support the intent of the original PUD. If you think the changes do not support the intent, then the matter needs to be referred back to the Planning and Zoning Commission for further consideration and a reopening of the public hearing. If the cow thinks that, and determines that the changes do support the intent and concept of the PUD, then it is recommended that staff be directed to prepare an ordinance approving the addition that's before you. So with that, I'll turn it over to the manager of Bear Head to answer any questions that you have.
And are you from corporate? I mean, what are you guys, in
So,
Cleveland or
yeah,
something?
So based out of Cleveland, yeah, we have 4 locations in Illinois. I
Right.
oversee those, so we just opened up one in downtown Elmhurst. But yeah, so we're looking to kind of get our brand integrity kind of synchronized. Yeah, I'm here to answer any questions about our menu. I know one of the big questions was, are we going to still allow outside food? And the answer is absolutely. You know, we're really excited about bringing our food segment here. However, we still understand with our wide variety of beer that a lot of different foods, you know, complement all of our different beer. So we still will be excited to allow our barbecue and sushi and everything else in our establishment. So,
Where are you going to put the kitchen?
upstairs.
Really?
It's in that
Yeah,
band here.
yeah.
Wow.
Kind of unusual, huh?
Yeah, it is. It does fit up there, though, and it does comply with code requirements.
What's the size of it?
It's something less than 1,000 square feet, I know that. I think
The
it's
kitchen's about 1,000 square feet upstairs.
Going to make sure you got real good drains up there?
We have a few drains up there.
Oh, you better have a few really good drains, you know? Yeah. Okay, well,
It's not really.
trustee Cook.
Sorry.
What's the current liquor licenses?
It's a class that allows the sale of beer and wine for consumption on premise.
So that would have to be changed too if I'm reading this menu correct, right?
Well, they would, if they wanted to change that, they would have to approach the Liquor Commission and request that change.
Because
And
as I'm looking at the menu, it includes,
Mimosas and Bloody Marys.
yeah.
Which are
Yeah,
made out of beer.
the menu is
Whiskey and all that.
the menu was meant to represent what's being offered
Yeah,
for food.
right.
But to answer your question, yeah, that's correct. They
Well, that
cannot.
was my question, is this something you're planning moving forward?
So with those items that you're referring to, that is part of our brunch segment at other locations. So if that's something that we would be able to bring to the village, I'm sure that's a secondary process. And if
Okay.
those were things we would have to exclude, we would be prepared to do that as well.
Okay, trustee Hebda.
I guess I'm the one that probably raised the most issues with this, because I felt like the beer market was a real unique concept
Yeah.
of offering beer and allowing those other businesses to come out and purchase. And so I'm looking at
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4 pages of a menu.
Sure.
And so chances are, someone's going to order off of your menu versus going to the sushi and and I don't see those included
Sure.
as viable options. So wait, but I'm not done yet. So I guess I'm just disappointed that, I mean, was the business sold to Beerhead and now it's changing? And the intention is really to make it a restaurant and beer place and alcohol.
Sure, sure. So one of our biggest intentions with the rebrand is because,
Can you get closer to the microphone?
yeah, absolutely. Here.
Are they
Yeah.
handheld either?
Sure, sure, absolutely. Better?
Yeah.
So one of our big focuses with the rebrand was to grow on a national scale. And, you know, for us, you know, part of our concept is really predicated on, for us to bring in outside food is a great thing. And we want to be more family-friendly. You know, we're a company that's grown by leaps and bounds. And, yeah, like I said, more than able to allow anything in, so I apologize, maybe more,
No,
how can I be more specific?
I personally don't see that if someone's going to go there, they're going to order off your menu before they go to,
Sure.
there's a lot here to choose from. So
Well, our-
would have been different if you would have said you're just going to order some snacks and stuff, but basically you're making a full-service restaurant beer head eatery. So
Sure.
you can't convince me that someone's going to go and order from another place. Maybe they will, and you might promote that, but why would you if you want to expand your business? Why
Well,
would you
sure.
want to do that?
Obviously, that revenue stream is great for us, but
Sure.
one of our big concerns out here is at 9 o'clock, most of the neighboring businesses close, and then we don't have a food option after that. And what we've seen is a lot of people end up going next door to Lincolnshire, they're going to Half Day Brewing, and they're getting food and drink and these things.
Is it your biggest competitor right now, is Half Day Brewing?
I think we've definitely seen that. You know, we've seen that particularly with our, once everybody closes at 9 and we really don't have that food option, you know, that's.
Is it true everyone closes at 9 down there? The barbecue and the sandwich and the sushi and the pizza, pretty much? Okay.
Yeah, since Philly G's
I know
closed.
Philly G's left, I realize, yeah.
Yeah, so that has been a concern for us and something that we'd want to remedy, but it is part of our branding, you know, so it is something
So
that.
how are you going to promote them to order from other places?
Well, we'll do what we've always done. We do have menus inside of our establishment. So we can give them menus from everybody, from Real Urban Barbecue. We have all that in our store. And it is part of our branding, it is part of our concept. You know, so it's something that we'll continue to do. Lunch and our brunch segments are something that we're excited about as well. We think that's going to help promote that family segment. We've seen that in Elmhurst, you know, and that's where we want our brand to further as well. And again, we have seen in all of our places, particularly Schaumburg, where we have a lot of neighboring businesses, Potbelly Sandwiches next door, Rody Mediterranean Grill. We see that stuff all the time.
And so are you going to, when you look at your liquor license, these particular drinks will only be offered on Sunday and on Monday through Friday, it's beer and but are you going to offer it all the time? I assume you're probably going to offer it all the time.
Well, at our other locations, we have a craft cocktail segment that we would offer all the time, and then really promote those items over the weekend. Now, it's something that we would make during the week, but it's not something we promote. Like 11 to 3 for our brunch, for example, those coffee liqueur items, something we really only sell during that time because that's when we promote it. But yeah, like I said, we will.
Closer to the mic.
We will be more than happy to, you know, to continue
Well, you'll
to
need
do
to
everything
come
that
to
we've been
liquor
doing.
commission for that additional licensing, if you're going to do that. So you might as well, I assume that's, you're
Right.
going to want to do that, so you might as well come forward, so.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's really not going to be any exterior, I guess, addition.
It's just one small addition, Your Honor. It's shown in pink on this drawing here, and it'll be used for storage, and it connects the existing building to the garbage enclosure, and that's it. Everything else will be done on the mezzanine inside the existing building.
Does it cut off, the ingress and egress of people that are on the patio, which we don't want anyway?
Well, if anything,
Well,
it
you know what I-
it keeps people from migrating onto the patio that probably shouldn't be there.
Well, it will.
Sure, well.
Yes, sir. But it doesn't obstruct a required exit from the rear terrace area.
You can still walk both ways around.
You can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it'd just be landscaping?
Yeah, you could see where the connection is there, and you see where the green trees, there'd be just landscaping in that little strip right there. That would be the only opening that would be left. And that would be between what was Philly G's enclosure
Yeah.
and what'll now be that small addition. Just that little strip of land right there.
So somebody can just, somebody's got the reach,
Yeah, if they have a good reach, yeah.
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 Trustee Oppenheim.
In the current menu that you offer for the other restaurants, isn't it, it's one pamphlet, one menu that has several pages for the different restaurants, isn't that correct?
Correct, correct. So we have in our menu book, we have our 2 pages, then we have our brunch and our lunch, and then we have an additional that we hand out to everybody, which is, again, all the neighboring.
So are you planning on handing out 2 separate menus, or are you going to include it in one large menu, the first few pages being your food, and then the latter pages, the other restaurants' foods?
As of right now, what we've done is hand out 2. So whether we would change that in the future is, to be determined.
I don't know if Trustee Hebda would appreciate if it was all in one, so it seemed like it's one.
Sure.
I just, like I said, I love the concept at the beginning. I thought it was a
Yeah.
really different kind of thing, and I thought we were helping out other businesses, and now.
We're taking that away.
To be honest, we're taking that away. I mean,
Sure.
And that's
Except
who you are, and I understand that, but it
Yeah.
makes it frustrating for me to sit here and try and say, yay, go ahead and do it. But then I know you're competing with Half Day Inn, or not Half Day Inn, but,
Day
the
Brewery.
other place across the street, so.
Sure.
So I'm torn as to what I want to do here
Sure.
at this point.
I
Except
can,
the other side of that coin is it brings it back into what
Oh, I know.
this
that.
was the first exception
Right.
we made that didn't
Right.
have its own food. And
Right, yeah.
This would bring them back more in line with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pat, do we have to modify what, the special use? That we granted them, or?
Well, yeah,
Or we just go back to, okay, 60%, 40%, right?
Well, if the liquor license, they're going to approach the liquor license on a separate meeting, and that'll be to go from just beer and wine to full liquor, and that's a whole separate. For tonight, if the board feels the addition is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare an ordinance amending ordinance 2007-31 to allow the addition as set forth on the site plan and elevation drawings in front of you, and in accordance with the conditions that are outlined in your packet. And I would note one of the conditions is that Beerhead agrees that customers would be allowed to order food from restaurants within the town center.
All right, so, okay. So are some of the same owners involved?
it is the same owners.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't in the process of a buyout.
Oh.
It's because we're expanding that the beer
the
market
concept
naming,
is-
yeah, so it's all the same ownership.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
You'll be coming forward with new signage?
Correct.
So then he's got the packet already, how big and whatever.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
were
he
no
d- actu-
special exemptions, were there?
No, there wasn't. They'd have to comply with the sign criteria plan that was approved by the village board for the Vernon Hills Town Center. The permit was in fact received. We haven't reviewed it yet. We're waiting for the outcome of tonight's meeting.
Wasn't there rear signage?
Yeah, there's signage where you could see it from the intersection of Route 45 and Milwaukee, and then on the interior is a round sign, kind of like a medallion-shaped sign. That's what's there now.
Right. Okay.
Is this brick going to match?
Yes, ma'am.
You guarantee it?
We
Guaranteed.
have some samples and,
You do have them with you now?
no, the Mason pulled the samples that were still in the trash corral. We took those with us to match the brick.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve with all the caveats and I guess we'll call them the compliance recommendations.
So made.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additional comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Aye.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
I'm going to vote present at this point in time, and maybe I'll change my vote when it comes further along.
Okay.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. What we got here? Discover Vernon Hills mobile app. Joe Carey.
Oh, boy.
Well, good evening, Your Honor, members of the board. It's fun on this side of the days. So Will Rockwell and I are here tonight to introduce you the Vernon Hills mobile app. This is part of an effort that we've been working on as part of the outreach to our residents and business community to really help really create more transparency and outreach to individuals. And what you'll see here and what we'll go over tonight is a mobile app that we've been working on with Civic Plus, our website designer, that syncs up really simultaneously with our website. And so we'll walk through the mobile app this evening.
All right, well, first, how to get the app. So right now, the app is available on the Google Play Store for all Android devices. The app was submitted to Apple, and Apple actually rejected it because they have a problem with Civic Plus submitting an app on behalf of a third party. So they don't like that Civic Plus is submitting app on behalf of us. So Civic Plus is going to resubmit our app to the Apple Store on August 22nd to fit their rules. So what you'll see in front of you right now is the Android version of the app. It will look the same on the Apple version.
Not quite. First up comes the sign in to receive notifications.
Yes, that's right. That is the default pop-up so that people can sign up on the Vernon Hills blast email list. That can be turned off if you don't like to see it.
So do not show this
Again.
again.
Yes.
Put a check there, and then do what?
And then hit OK, and it should disappear, and it won't show up again.
I
If you mistakenly turn off
don't
that
have
button,
an okay.
or you can hit cancel. So for example, I have this up on the screen right now as an example. You can hit this button that says do not show again. It'll be a little blue check mark. And then you can hit cancel, and then that little pop-up will go away.
And if in fact, if you decide to re-sign up, you can also click the notify me button, which would then allow you to alter your settings. So if you have, there's different notifications for news alerts, job postings, bid postings, emergency notifications. You can alter your settings to receive only specific notifications, depending on your individual interests with the village.
That's right. So again, we'll be going through the Android version of the app today. Feel free to ask any questions as we go along.
So one of the items we have here is the Agenda Center. As it explains, it has all our commissions and boards listed here. The mouse is a little sensitive, so I apologize for that. But for example, if you wanted to select the village board and wanted to review agendas or agenda packets, you can click there. If you wanted to see a video, for example, you can click on, for example, the July 18th village board meeting. You can select view video, and that would then allow you to view the village board meeting on the village's YouTube channel. As you can see, agenda packets, we are now posting full agenda packets on the website, and that is now also available on the mobile app as well. Another feature is the calendar. This provides a calendar of events. For example, on August 15th, we have a village board meeting. And on August 30th, as you click the date here, we have Public Works Open House. If you select that on your phone or on your device, you can see the time. You can see also the location. So, for example, if you're not sure where the Public Works building is, you could select that, and you could verify where to travel to attend that event.
Okay, next up, we have the News Flash module. And the news flash is just where people can go to get all Vernon Hills news postings. So you'll see all these news items here at the top of the screen are all the same news posts that are posted on the village's website. So those are all listed here as well, and those are synchronized. So the minute that we post a news item to our website, it'll show up here in the app almost the exact same time. Down here at the bottom is where you can sign up for the Village Voice newsletter. So that's just another way where someone can get information from the village. And if you were to click on that, it kind of explains what the Village Voice newsletter is and allows you to go to that website. And if you click on the link, it should tell you that you're going to leave this site, and it will take you to where Lynn has all of her fine work, where it allows you to click and join the mailing list if you're not already a subscriber. And if you are, you can go back and look at previous editions.
You know, it would be fun, but I don't know if we have them. The newsletters we used to send out, do we have those anyplace archived?
We can take a look and see if we have those. If we do, we could certainly see.
Paper-wise, yeah.
Okay, crazy.
We could
That'd be
scan
kind of
them.
interesting to scan them and put, you know, there's a lot of history in them. For those that care. I mean, there's a couple that were gems. Probably involving the high school.
yes,
Oh, God. Okay.
Moving on with other venues of information that the village puts out, we also do have
Those
a link for web maps. And when you click on the web map icon, it'll take you to the village's website, where we do have several web maps posted, where Vernon Hills does have other sources of information that people are interested in. So when this website opens up on your mobile device, you'll be able to scroll through and take a look at all the web maps that the village posts. So these are listed in order of popularity. So for example, our most used web map online is our zoning map. And then as you go on down the line here, you can see all the other web maps that are made available to the public, and you can click on these at will. I will say that most of these maps, all the ones that are created by myself for the village, they're very mobile friendly. They'll work on a phone, they'll work on a tablet. However, if you get towards the bottom and you start seeing maps, they also have the Lake County Passage traffic map to get real-time traffic updates, which is a very good app as well. But if you go down to the congressional districts maps, some of the census maps, those maps are not really made for mobile devices, so those really require a desktop setup in order to use.
Like, you know, Google type, the ability to go to like my street, I can look at my house and my neighbor's house, and it's not from 10 years ago.
With Street View,
I mean,
unfortunately.
you know, Google's, I don't.
Yeah, Street View.
Yeah, Street View typically updates their street level imagery every 5 to 10 years. So the Street View imagery that you see today may be a little
I mean, I
old.
looked at it the other day, and I got an old car on the driveway, and
Yeah.
I go, oh, I haven't touched this in a while, you know. Whatever happened to Barry Shane, driving around town in the Google mobile? Yeah, I digress. Go ahead, guys.
So there's a number of other features, and as you can see, there's a couple blank spaces on the app that allows us to add additional features to this, which we'll touch on in a moment. But we have the forms and documents, frequently asked questions. We have the staff directory, which, as you might imagine, is a directory of staff. What this is kind of cool to do in terms of a mobile device is that if you want to click on a particular staff person within the community development department, say you wanted to call me for some reason, you can actually just select the phone number or email on your phone, and that will then directly route that communication to me. So if you're on your phone, you're looking to reach the public works director, myself, or others, that's a really easy way to go about doing that. Another feature, and probably one of the biggest things that we're really the most excited about at the staff level, is the report a problem feature. And the reason why is because when residents have questions or see tall grass or a pothole oftentimes they're giving us a call and giving us some idea of where it is at block or intersection. What this app will do, it allow us to do, is to really pinpoint exactly where the issue is. And not only that, but it allows the residents or just passerby to take a photo with their phone of the issue. So the first thing they'll see is they'll be able to put a description of the problem. They'll be allowed to take a photo with their camera. So if you select to take a photo, it'll utilize the camera feature on your device. Or you can choose an existing photo from your potential photo library. From there, you've got several different options. If I was scrolling too fast. And that's might use your current location to report the problem, which then uses your phone's GPS. You can show the location on the map, which then allows you to use this map feature here and pinpoint the specific location. Or you can also provide an address. So if you want to report a problem with the state, you can certainly put that information in there as well. The last bit of information down below is for reporting. So this provides the contact information for whom we're providing this. So name, address, phone number, email, and then all I have to do is click submit, and that then gets routed to us. And right now, residents can utilize our village website to report issues or concerns. What this really does is allow us to really pinpoint exactly where issues might be and creates a lot more of a user-friendly environment for the residents rather than going back to a desktop or using their mobile device to access a website. This really is a lot of a handier of a feature.
All right, as Joe mentioned, there's some blank space here, and it does allow us to expand. So I know one of the things that Nikki and I have looked into is the mobile purchasing of tickets at the metro station. And so when that option comes into fruition, which won't be until perhaps early September-ish, we will add just another icon here at the end where people can directly be directed to the app from this location, so as to make it as easy as possible for people to get that.
Are we,
Any comments or questions? from
yeah,
the board?
are we looking to add maybe the Park District and the schools to this? Just have their key pages, their homepage, or?
We certainly could. I mean, we have this is a blank canvas, and if you want to add things to it, we certainly can. So if that's something that the board is interested in doing, we can make that.
I'd love to reach out to 103, 73, 125, 128, all 76, whoever, and then the Park District and even Lake County, have their home pages or whatever.
I mean, they have the link on there?
Yeah.
Well, an icon.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
What is this?
You could have one icon for schools, and then you click on it and select.
Right.
However you want to structure it, sure.
That's good.
Take up all the real estate.
Your Honor, one other thing that we need to do is update the photos of the mayor and the board on the website, so.
I looked a lot younger 12 years ago, so I like that photo.
Okay.
Yeah, I did buy a new suit. For, nobody was there. The chief was there for the Navy SEAL event.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a good funeral suit.
Yeah, I like it. I got a blue tie and a red tie.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys done?
Yep.
All right, well, thank you.
All right.
So you actually put a lot of time and effort into this, Will?
We'll put a lot of time in.
Yeah, I was just gonna clarify that, All right, well, it's what we pay him to do, right, All right, Will.
All right.
Hey, and you gotta,
Go to Apple when you go to Apple for the approval? Or?
Yeah, August 22nd, Civic Plus will resubmit the Apple app, and then it will be available. But right now, when you go to the Google Play Store, you just search for Vernon Hills, and it'll show up.
well, I can't get on it because I took too many pictures and videos when I was.
Okay, well, you bring it in, I'll clear it up for you.
Yeah, I gotta click, I gotta like Yeah, or I should get a new phone since it's a Galaxy 5.
Will does a
okay.
great job for us, not just in GIS.
I
but
will, thank you.
All sorts of IT.
All right, Joe, thank you too.
Oh, happy birthday.
Whose?
Will.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Nikki, too.
All right, so,
Nikki, happy birthday, Nikki. Nice way to spend it with us.
all right, are we going into closed session?
Just short, yeah.
For,
Pending litigation pursuant to Section 2-C-11 of the Open Meetings Act, personnel, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of an employee pursuant to Section 2-C-1 of the Open Meetings Act, and approval of the minutes, discussion of minutes pursuant to Section 2-C-21 of the Open Meetings Act.
okay, so is there a motion to adjourn, go into closed session to discuss what, litigation, potential litigation and personnel? And approve the minutes? Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
He's the first.
Trustee Takaoka? Trustee Hebda?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
The motion carries. Thank you and good night.
So you're not doing surgery, or when are you doing surgery?
You got a chip in there?
I'm doing it October 4th.
October 4th, okay.
Well,
What do you, are